You're on.
All right, good evening. We are at item number 4, reconvene to open session for our regular meeting at 6 o'clock. My apologies. Let's start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Secretary Harris, will you read us the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please put your right hand over your heart.
I
pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
That's very honest.
Yeah, you did.
Is that not removed?
Number 5, Gary.
Gary?
Public hearing on what?
Sorry.
Is that an accidental leaving? Okay, that's a placeholder.
Yeah.
That was from last.
Okay, all right. Item number 6, approval and adoption approval of the agenda. 6.1, approval of the agenda for October 9th, 2018.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, I had a momentary lapse of, wait, minutes, I wasn't here, but agenda, getting ahead of myself. Item number 7, approval of the minutes. 7.1, approval of the minutes of August 21st, 2018.
So moved.
Wait,
Who wasn't here?
yeah, who was here? Who wasn't
I
here?
wasn't here.
You were not here?
I think it was my thing.
I can tell you.
Yes,
They weren't here, so it's.
I wasn't here on the 21st. Yeah.
Okay, so you two were gone. Okay, so who moved?
Yes.
So moved. Second.
Okay, there we go. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we finally got that one done. 7.2, sorry, I had a screen reboot there. Approval of the minutes of September 25th, 2018.
So moved.
Second. Is that the one I missed?
You missed. You missed it. You missed it.
You missed it.
Because
We
I'm not
missed
on
you.
that one. I got it. Everybody else is here. All in favor?
Aye.
There we go. My goodness, that has not happened to us in a long time. Item 8, special recognitions, reports, and presentations, as I assume we may have some people in the room waiting on this. 8.1, student reports to the board. Students from McNear Elementary School and Valley Vista Elementary School will join the student representatives from Petaluma Junior High and Petaluma Junior High to report on activities at their respective school sites. So why don't we just go in order and start with McNear? There we go. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, perfect.
So come on down, you'll address us. You can use that little podium thing, or you can put it on the floor. Either one, it's up to you. Or scoot to the side and use it, or... Ask and you shall receive, like that. And let us know your names, and then you may present.
Hello, I'm James Dole,
Hi, I'm Scarlett Sanders.
and we are representing the McNear Falcons from McNear Elementary School.
Our principal from McNear Elementary is Liza Eichert.
We are going to be talking about grades and different projects and events that go on during the school year. We have a wide variety of ranges at McNear, and we offer a TK through 3rd. This is the lower grades, and they do a lot of hands-on learning with geo boards and their tablets and iPads.
These are the 4th through 6th grades, and I remember some of my favorite things we did in 4th grade was going to the Gold Rush, which was an overnight field trip. And in 5th grade, I remember doing state ports, which was hard but fun. And in 6th grade, so far my favorite thing has been 6th grade camp, which we just got back from on Friday.
McNear has a garden that is welcome, that everybody is welcome to. There are TK through 5th have garden classes, and there are 2, like we split up the group into 2. So one goes into the garden and does the digging, planting, and watering, and the other group is in the outdoor classroom in the science center and does plant anatomy.
Here at McNear, we offer a library to all grades TK through 6, and we just recently had had the Fall Book Fair, and it is an event that goes on for a week, and you can come buy books for like either yourself or classes or your class. And on the last night, there's an event where you can come and buy books. And you can also have dessert, and it's called Dessert Night.
In 6th grade, we do a lot of important reports, including 4 book reports, Greek mythology studies, and an ancient civilization report.
At McNair, we do an event called the Jogathon, and it's when we run for 20 minutes, and all of the students try to gather donations, and afterwards, or like after running, we count all of our laps and collect the donations or pledges, and it's our first fundraiser every year, major fundraiser, and it just happened today, so.
One of the things that makes McNair super interesting is the math room, or the McNair Art and Science Center, where there are art docent lessons. There's science, arts and crafts, and robotic Legos. And there's also a lot of microscopes where you can learn about like microscopic organisms.
Some of we go on many field trips at McNair, but one of the biggest ones is 6th grade camp, which, like I said, we just got back from on Friday. And it's when all the 6th graders go to Point Bonita for 3 days. And we do a lot of things, like we have campfires, we go on hikes. One of the days we did a hike that was over 8 miles. And we saw coyotes and a lot of other wildlife.
McNair offers 2 performing arts plays. One that takes place in the fall with 4th through 6th grade, and this is a recent play practice. Both of
The ones on the bottom.
the ones on the bottom, and the one in the spring takes place for 1st and 3rd grades, and those are on the top. Those are passive performances.
I can do this.
In the back.
At McNair, we have some traditions, and some of them are the back-to-school barbecue, which and the Harvest Festival. The back-to-school barbecue is an event where you can come, and it's like at the beginning of the year, and come and play games with your friends and eat really good food. And this year it was put together by Joey Durkin. And the Harvest Festival is an event where you can come in your Halloween costume, and you play games and have fun with your friends and eat food and candy.
At McNair, we are strongly based around watershed studies, especially in 4th grade. And here are some pictures of 2 years ago when we walked down to the Petaluma River and tested the water.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you come visit our school very soon.
Anyone have any comments or questions for our McNair group?
A great presentation. Very
There's
poised.
a lot of neat stuff going on over there.
Nicely done.
You guys are great speakers. This is not easy to do. You did a really good job.
Good job, guys.
Thank you. Rally this. Come on down. And for parents in the room, it's always appropriate to come up to the side and take pictures and videos and things. That will never bother them.
Good evening. A couple of 5th graders here that are going to tell you all about what's going on at Valley Vista right now.
Hi, I'm Brady, and this is Ella. We're in the 5th grade at Valley Vista and excited to tell you all about the exciting things happening in our school. First, we'll flash back to last year's open house, where each student was invited to paint a kindness rock.
Over the summer, Mrs. Wire and Mrs. Ackman and their families came and installed the Kindness Rocks garden at the front of the school. It's amazing.
Then our PTA partnered with the district to install a new play structure in the upper green yard. It's unique because the green turf blends into the field behind it. All the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students like to climb and play on the new structure.
Now, for this school year, we have a lot of new faces on campus. Mr. Bailey on the left is teaching 2nd grade. In the middle, throwing the football, is Ms. Astor in 6th grade. Under her is Mrs. Torbett, our new library coordinator, picture with our first author to visit campus this year. And on the right is Mrs. Zagagi, who teaches 4th grade. We have a lot of other new staff as well. Psychologists, child care assistants, aides and TK&K, and our guidance counselor.
Just this Saturday, our PTA hosted a pancake breakfast. We had vehicles from Cal Fire, Petaluma Fire Department, and the police department. We served pancakes, sausage, fruit, along with coffee and hot chocolate. It was a fun morning. Together, and we raised some money for PTA-sponsored programs.
Last Friday, while 6th graders were at camp at Point Bonita, 4th and 5th graders participated in the bike rodeo. It's an event sponsored by Safe Routes to School. Kids brought their bikes or borrowed one. They also brought their helmet, purchased a new one for $5, or borrowed one. No matter your ability, you got to participate. There was an obstacle course, a road simulation, and even a teeter-totter to ride over. It was a great day.
As you know, we are becoming an international baccalaureate primary years program school. Our coordinator, Ms. O, met with our IB consultant for 2 days in order to help us move toward full authorization. According to the consultant, one of the things we're doing really well is fully immersing our campus in the IB learner profile. At Friday assemblies, Ms. Haugen awards red ribbons in line with traits of the learner profile. Here you see some students who have received red ribbons so far this year. A student was principal during a game when she took her out without an argument. A student showed caring when he buddied up with a newcomer who doesn't speak English. Another student was a risk taker when he tried bench dressing during a solid
Big stuff, right? That's good stuff, yeah.
IB consultant also acknowledged our teaching garden as a positive, impactful component of our program. Kids help plant new beds, move mulch and dirt, weed and harvest. Mrs. Chambers used the last of the lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers for salad bar last week. It's fun to eat veggies we work hard to grow.
And finally, Spanish class is in it. Part of becoming an IB school is offering an additional language. We are all learning Spanish, and even though many of our students already speak Spanish, we are adding to their academic language, reading, and writing. Ms. O, our Spanish teacher, incorporates music, dialogue, and cultural activities into learning Spanish. We are all putting together a Day of the Dead display at the front of Valley Vista on November 1st. You're all invited to come see it.
It's already been an exciting few months. Thanks for listening. Do you have any questions?
You did?
Some fashion tips up here for Mike Badley. Oh, no, Franklin, excuse me.
I have a question. Are you enjoying being in IB school? Do you like the project-based, and what do you think of it?
I think it's nice to have that because then it encourages kids to be kind and caring to other kids, and then to reward them, you get a red ribbon.
Yeah. And so far, teachers have planned their first unit and various grades have implemented and other grades won't implement until spring. So when we get to the end of the school year, students should be able to speak to what that looks and feels like.
Okay, great.
Yeah. It's on the front lawn, so is it gonna be?
Right out on
big? It's gonna be
Webster.
big?
That's right, yes.
Excellent. I can't wait to see that.
Wow. That's awesome, that'll be exciting.
job.
Great job. Kenilworth, come on down.
Hi, my name is Katie Hancock, and I'm an 8th grade leadership student representing Kenilworth. We started our year strong with our 7th grade icebreaker dance, which was a huge success with students having lots of fun. We have an upcoming neon dance on October 26th. Our school has been doing great with Spirit Days and showing lots of participation, and we just finished off our first Spirit Week with lots of fun lunchtime activities. We have begun our friendly competition between classes for the most spirited that takes place every grading period. We recently finished our ASB elections, and our new officers are Grayson Gardner for president, Annalisa Chilino for vice president, Rana and Il Kumar for treasurer, and Estrella Gonzalez for secretary. Mr. Orlinghouse, our new assistant principal, has been working hard to keep students on track, and he has also redone our bi-weekly newsletter, and it is looking great. Miss Milana from 10,000 Degrees has been meeting with students who are having academic challenges, trying to create a successful bridge between Kenilworth and CASA. Kenilworth recently had our first ELAC meeting with over 38 families in attendance. Rafael Vasquez from Santa Rosa Junior College spoke about academic success, preparing for college, and scholarship opportunities. We are looking strong in cross country this year and are running for at least one pennant at league finals. Girls have won 3 out of 4 meets and boys have won 2 out of 4. The girls basketball teams are looking successful, with the program growing with 18 girls on the 7th grade squad this year. We are looking forward to our annual pledge-a-thon, where Kenilworth has raised over $30,000 that is going back into the school to support our academic programs. PTSA is putting on an event this Friday, October 12th, where any student who donated to the pledge-a-thon is invited. We are really proud of our recently created Kenilworth Cares acronym, which stands for Creativity, Accountability, Respect, Empathy, and Success. We have banners up around campus to remind students of this acronym as well as other life skills. We do lessons on these life skills during our 6th period classes for SSR. English is getting ready for NaNoWriMo, which is National Writing Month. And PE is focusing on strength training and preparing for the fitness testing, while math has just retested all the students to make sure we were correctly placed in our classes. Band is getting ready for our winter concert, which is being held on December 12th. And science continues to meet the next generation standards. Kenilworth has been doing great so far this year, and we are looking forward to the rest of it. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions? Could you guys go back to the slide, the Kenilworth Cares slide?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that program, or how it works in the classroom?
We should have memorized it.
I was trying to memorize it.
We haven't really done much work in the classrooms with it, but this year and last year, we have monthly lessons on different life skills that our staff is trying to get us to incorporate into our lives. So that is kind of the base of what this is.
On campus today, they look amazing.
They look beautiful.
Awesome.
I love it, very inspirational.
Good presentation.
Yeah, good job thinking on your feet too. Trying to
Yeah.
get questions. Last but not least, Petaluma Junior High. Come on, Dana.
Hello, I'm Pedro Morales. I'm Miriam Norwitz, and we're here to present our school check-in report.
Petaluma Junior High School's 2018 to 2019 school year is off to a great start. We kicked off the school year with our annual Welcome Back Dance that was sponsored by ASB and hosted for all our new 6th and 7th grade students. This year's dance was wildly successful with a participation rate of about 75% of the students. You could hear them all singing, particularly Don't Stop Believing. That has become the signature song to end our dances.
ASB has also been busy with hosting our first Spirit Week for the year. Students and staff came as their favorite meme on Monday, their brightest neon on Tuesday, a Western wear outfit on Wednesday, a throwback, which we would think 80s, on Thursday, and Think Pink on Friday to raise awareness and honor cancer survivors.
On Wednesday, October 3rd, PJHS participated in their 3rd annual Walk and Roll to School event. This is a national day to use alternative methods to get to school, like walking, riding your bike, using a skateboard or scooter. For our third year, we are excited to share that 163 students participated.
As a part of the Maker Hub at the Sonoma County Office of Education, PJHS was one of the first schools to participate in the Mobile Maker Lab as part of our Maker Mania during the week of September 17th. Check out the video that showcases PJHS.
Oh, there we go.
You bypassed the board.
I tested it earlier.
Stand by.
I knew what it is. Sorry, technical difficulties.
So while they're doing that, I just want to make a comment regarding if participation is any metric, which to us it's an important one. It's pretty amazing what we're seeing as far as school spirit at all of our secondary school sites. I've been hearing about just massive numbers of students attending dances. You're nodding back there at CASA, because I know you guys faced it. We see, when we go out to Kenilworth, we go out to Petaluma Junior, Petaluma High, we're really seeing some really pretty significant participation.
Great.
For educators and students in Sonoma County. With seating for 30 and off-the-grid solar power, it can bring a classroom or meeting space to parks, schools, and event centers. The lab is equipped with a flat-screen monitor for digital presentation, as well as laptops and iPads. It's a great choice for professional development, field trips, or hands-on STEAM activities. To learn more or to book the Mobile Learning Lab, visit sco.org/MLL.
Sports updates. The Lady Bantams girls basketball team has started their season with some great wins, last-second buzzer beater, and a few tough losses to really strong teams from Santa Rosa and Slater middle schools. Both the 7th and 8th grade teams are showing a lot of heart and passion as they take the floor each time playing to win. There's a lot of hype and excitement as both teams get ready to take on our cross-time rivals at Kenilworth on Thursday.
Our cross-country team has been burning up the courses this year, with many of the meets seeing bantam racers coming in 1st through 5th. Several of our students have not only exceeded in their personal bests, 3 of our runners have come in the top 5 finishing times for our school records. Our top runner, Javier Gutierrez, crushed our home course with a record-setting pace of 6-minute 11-second mile average for 3 miles.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Finally, PJHS is in the middle of its only major fundraiser this year, our annual fund drive. Students and families that participate in the fund drive will get an invitation to attend our Bantam Bash scheduled for Friday, October 26th. The Bantam Bash is a huge community event, like a carnival put on by a partnership between ASB and the PTSA. We are looking forward to a really fun night of games, friends, family, and food. Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions or
Very
comments
busy.
for our Petaluma Junior High kids?
What exactly is the fund drive?
Well, we raise money. It's our biggest fundraising event of the year, so we raise money for to buy supplies for our school. And for a week, we do various activities that leadership hosts. And I think we're thinking of doing pie throwing. You can donate to, I think, either throw a pie at a teacher or a student that's in leadership. If that,
We did that too.
we're doing this thing called Haunted Hallways, I think, where we decorate our school, and it's almost like a haunted house where kids get to walk through. Yeah.
And then it ends on that Friday when.
Yeah.
He does the ice challenge.
Cool.
Wonderful, thank you. Quick question about our student report and our student of the month for the three of you maybe. Would it take a lot to have a camera back here to videotape the kids so that schools could then put it on their websites? I don't know how much, I'm asking only because I don't know how much work that would be. Could you talk about it? That would just be something interesting. Because I always feel bad because they're presenting to the board,
Yeah.
right? And we've got, public access is right here, so they kind of get them to the side. And then we've got the poor parents and teachers that are, back
Are you talking
there.
about a monitor, not a
No,
camera?
no, I was just talking about instead of a principal having to come stand here and videotape with her phone and then post to Facebook or something for parents to see. If that is something that we could do, and it'd be short clips, because we'd start and stop each time, and then we could share it with the school site, and they could put it on their school site website, and then parents that weren't here tonight, or even people that wanted to see what was going on at that school would have kind of a consistent update. And I don't even know if principals are interested or parents are interested, but I always feel bad that parents are in the back and they just get the back of the kids.
I have a picture for each of the school banner.
I saw that you.
No, video.
And I saw that you're thoughtful to do that.
Remember all the hassle they gave me when I actually turned it all around? And she said just the opposite. You did it wrong.
Hey, that was the privacy of not this room. Okay, moving on. I just, an idea that may be too much work and far-fetched, but I'm just curious. 8 point, jumpstart summary. You wanna take a break now, or?
Take a quick break.
Okay, for the others. Okay, we'll take a 3-minute break so those students that need to file out before the longer presentation. What you first said, I was not having a game that I knew. Oh, I don't have to know.
Oh, you didn't comment on this.
Because at night you can generally carry multiple passes because people are there. Set a record.
you want, just be yourself.
There's 10,000 degrees.
Wonderful.
That's it.
Okay, so I've tried to assemble the largest presenting team ever.
Like it.
Yeah. So I'm Eric Backman, the very proud principal of Casa Grande. I actually requested this opportunity because I want the board to appreciate all of the amazing educators and partners we have that are supporting CASA students so that we as a district can achieve our most important goal, preparing students for college, and as this program is designed to do, getting them access. This is about access and equity. I've been an educator for 23 years. This is my 10th year as an administrator, and this is the program that I'm most proud of being associated with. It's the most innovative, exciting, and the trends show measurably successful. It's an incredible thing that we're endeavoring to do. So we've got amazing people here, including some alumni that are jump starters, now ambassadors to the JC. They'll introduce themselves as they present. The agenda for the presentation, we're going to share some history and rationale for creating the program. You'll have an understanding of the program components, how it works, the steps that students go through to get ready to attend the JC. I'm going to share some growth trends and demographic information. We have Valerie here from the College Career Center, who's going to share with you some of the work we've done there, including some student testimonials. We have our amazing partners, 10,000 Degrees here, and we're going to close with a couple of alumni who are going to present. All right? So I'm going to hand things off to Sharon Howe.
So hello, I'm a little bit nervous, but I really have to say I'm so excited to be here to talk about Jumpstart. And I'm proud to be standing with this amazing group of colleagues to make Jumpstart real. But to get the full flavor of what has happened with Jumpstart, I want to describe what it was like 5 years ago before Jumpstart came into existence. So 5 years ago, it was a conversation between a math teacher and a counselor, and that counselor was me when I was in my other life, when I was a counselor. And we were talking about our seniors and how we were getting seniors ready for college after high school. And seniors who were planning to attend the JC, which is over 50% of our student body, go to the JC, were sidelined during the college application cycle. Because the JC, and when they'd been functioning, their matriculation process was all in the late spring and summer. So our seniors would, at the beginning of the year, we go into classes and the counselor, who's going to a four-year college? And all the hands shoot up. The seniors are so proud. And then who's going to the JC? And it'd be like this. Students were ashamed. They didn't want to say. They'd say, I'm just going to the JC. It wasn't with the source of pride. We thought, well, that's not right. They're going to college. And many of those students are going to transfer. All the effort that the teachers and the counselors put on was to get the four-year college-bound students engaged in college. Placement tests, the ACT, the SAT, college essays, the application cycle. November 30th was a big date. The teachers would help write the college essays. The J students didn't get any of that benefit because that college cycle for them hadn't started yet. So they were left out. And Mr. Wiggert and I said, they should all be on the same cycle. They should be all planning for college together. They're all seniors. They're all going to be in somewhere, something, in the following fall. So we need to get with it and do something about this. And they all need to be planning for college before they graduate. Whereas historically, the seniors were graduating, and then they did all their college planning in the summer if they were going to the JC. They didn't have the benefit of our help at school, of the counselors, of the teachers, and of all the energy and excitement of preparing for college. That was what the world was like 5 years ago. And it was like that for all the high schools. That was just the way it was. It wasn't that CASA was bad, that was the pattern that happened. So we thought we have to do something about that. Well, what's the significance of that number? So what this shows is some data. And that this is showing that fall 2017, we get this data every single year, and it's been about the same. We had 1,353 students attending SRJC last fall 2017. They don't have the data out for this year. The next highest one was Sonoma State University. We had 108 students. And then you can see the numbers going all the way down. We were spending all of our energy preparing these students when here, every year we had over 1,000 students at the JC in our own backyard. So Mr. Weird and I like, oh my goodness, let's do something. Let's call the JC. So I have to and the JC being who they are, and Denise Cooper is shaking her head, I have to tell you that we had a year, or about 6 months of meetings with Denise Cooper, Laura Lynn Larson, Norberto Quiroz, and we planned, how can we make this happen? How can we get the JC college cycle on track with the four-year college cycle? And the JC had to move mountains and rivers and streams to make it happen. The placement test cycle had to be changed, their application cycle had to be changed, and their counseling 270 cycle had to be changed. It was revolutionary, but they did it, and it took a while. And so to get the full benefit of what everybody's going to explain now, I just want to tell you, that's just explain what it was. And those numbers show we had to do something, and we did. And so now you're going to hear about what we've done in 5 years. It's remarkable, and it's exciting.
So my name is Julie Powasser. I'm one of the counselors at Casa Grande High School. I started 3 years ago, and 3 years ago I took on the task of being the counselor over the Jump Start program. And it's grown incredibly over the past 5-6 years since they've been doing it, but especially in the past 3 years. So there's a lot that goes into the Jump Start program. There's a lot of planning and preparation on our end, but also the students' end. So we try to get as many of our seniors as we can to jump on board with the Jump Start program. Typically what this looks like is about once a month is our goal. We meet with our Jump Start students at lunch. So they have to give up one of their off-campus lunches to come in. And typically what that looks like is a short presentation we give, and then they're doing some kind of action item. So we just had our first Jump Start meeting 2 weeks ago. We did a short overview of what they're going to do over the span of the year, and then we had them go on and fill out a Google form to sign up for one of our SRJC application workshops. So those workshops will take place over the span of 2 days next week. And so that's step one of the process, completing the SRJC application. From there, we help them enroll and sign up for Counseling 270 in the spring. It's a 3-day course, sort of like an introduction to college, all the ins and outs, the things you need to know. And during that class, they actually get to meet with an SRJC counselor and develop their academic plan, depending what their goals are, certificate to transfer, and so they meet with a counselor for that. And then during the Jump Start program, we also help them complete their financial aid applications. In the past, we've also helped them do the Doyle Scholarship, which is the easiest 5 seconds, 5 minutes they've ever done. It's not based on their parents' income, only based on their academic GPA in high school. A big change that has come across this year, the students don't have to do that application anymore. The way they get that money is now through completing the financial aid application. So with 10,000 Degrees, we've been doing a big push over the past few years, but now for the students who are attending SRJC, it's even more important for them to be doing that application. We help them learn about SRJC learning communities, programs, services. We get our 504 students and our IEP students connected with the Disability Resource Center, our lower income students with the EOPS program. And then the end big exciting part is the very last part. If our seniors are on board with every step of the process, they actually earn Priority 3 registration, which initially they're like, yeah, so what, Priority 3 registration. They don't realize until actually the day they get to register, May 2nd, what that means. So last year was the first year that our students actually got to register before they graduated. Again, as Sharon explained, we've changed sort of how the JC does things. And so last year on their registration date, we had a big celebration, and they got to come in and register for classes, and they saw as they were plugging in, there's 3 spaces left, and I hit enter, and now there's none. And so it sort of, was huge. Oh, that's why priority registration is big. So that's the biggest part of what they get out of it each year. And then something really exciting, I think, is we are now live. Last year, SRJC put on their website a Jumpstart link that has all the information, sort of how our start at our school has spread countywide and even further. So other schools are modeling a program after ours. And then on our CASA website, we now have up-to-date information. If a student were to miss a meeting or parents wanted information, we have the dates ahead of time. All the information is now accessible through our CASA website, so very exciting. And with that, I will pass it over to Eric, who will talk about the growth and trends.
Yeah, so who are the students who are completing Jumpstart? This is the 5-year participation trend we've seen. I don't know about you, but you don't see this in public education very often, this kind of steady growth.
Hey, you increased costs.
Except for that. Yeah. Good. And so I'm happy to report that this current year, our first meeting, we had 145 CASA seniors sign up for the registration course.
Off the screen!
Last year, that number was 104. So we're going to continue to see this kind of incredible growth. This gives you a sense of the percentage of students who are jump starters compared to the total number of CASA students going to the JC. So we're well over 50% now of JC-bound CASA students who are jump start ready. Our goal is 100%. And this is an interesting chart. So this is a chart that shows the education of the parents of our Jumpstart students. I think you could spend a lot of time with it, but one of the things that jumps out for me is that we're seeing more students participate with parents who have higher education levels. And it could be related to economics. I think it has a lot to do with what Sharon Howell pointed out, that we've raised the stature of the JC-bound student. There's no longer shame in that. Kids say it at CASA with pride. Yeah, I'm doing Jumpstart. I'm going to the JC, and then I'm going to transfer out. That, to me, is a big sign of success. And then, of course, the big blue band on the left here, as you're going to see, we are, without marketing or framing to the students, we are capturing first-generation college-going kids. Percentage of socioeconomic disadvantaged students, which mirrors the school population. Again, we're not trying to reach these kids. We're not saying this program's for you, nor are we doing it for our second language learners, which is one of the most successful things about the program. It reflects the school. And here are English and non-native English speakers, 61% last year. Second language learners participating. And it goes without saying, this is tying into some of the most significant, important district goals we have: access to college and reaching, historically disadvantaged subgroups. This program is doing all of that at once. And one of the primary drivers of the program, promoters of the program, is Ms. Valerie Alston.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Valerie Alston. I'm the College and Career Center Outreach Specialist for Casa Grande, as well as Carpe Diem and Sonoma Mountain. But tonight I'm here to represent Casa Grande. It was about 5 years ago that I retired from Sonoma County Superior Court. I have a very extensive background in human resources, but also State Farm Insurance companies. And 3 years ago, I said, wow, I saw this job on EdJoin. I don't even know what I was doing on EdJoin. But I was traveling around the world, spending my money, having a good time. I'm still traveling around the world, spending my money. But anyway, this amazing opportunity came about at Casa Grande High School. And I said, wow, with my background, human resources, and working with a different population from a resume writing, interviewing technique, I said, let me just shoot off a resume real quickly here. And honestly, I was not expecting a phone call. I was in Trader Joe's, and they said, hey, we'd like to offer you the position. I said, oh God, I'm not really ready to go back to work. And it was this wonderful salary that they were offering me. So I just have to be honest with you. Of course, it's not about the income. It's about the outcome. And that's really why I'm here at Casa Grande and serving my other 2 schools here. So the College and Career Center is a very inclusive place. It's, as the students would say, it's pretty dope in here, Miss Alston. As long as you don't bring dope in here, it's good. We have freshmen coming in there, all the way to seniors, and they come in there for many different reasons. I mean, to do homework, to get a bite to eat, I have snacks, or just to eat lunch, to collaborate, but most importantly, to seek out resources that are available from a trade school, community colleges, we're talking about San Jose JC tonight, but four-year schools as well. We run a lot of work-based learning opportunities out of there. And basically, I'm there as their resource, and that's about it. I don't want to talk more about myself, but anyway, we're here to prepare our students. This is a quote from one of our students, and I didn't pay them to write this. The College and Career Center is the most underrated place on the Casa Grande High School campus. You can read for yourself. But the whole essence of high school is to prepare you for your future, whether that be college or another career. This preparation can be overwhelming and stressful. However, with the help of Miss Alston, they asked me when could they start calling me Val. I said when you graduate. And the College and Career Center, this process becomes a lot easier. The College and Career Center has allowed for me to find a lot of extracurricular activities along with aiding and applying for college. And this student here, he's going to, who knows where he's going, probably going to Yale, I'm not sure. But anyway, that's one of our students. And you can see some of the slides there, some of the workshops. Okay.
Oh, Val, we'll come to the JC students at the end. I thought they would.
Well, thanks for letting me know. Okay. I'm outspoken too. But at any rate, I am just elated to be at CASA and to be working with our students, and they help me grow as well. So thank you for your time.
How are you all doing?
Good.
This is exciting, right? I'm here in this corner listening. I just get excited of all the work that CASA is doing. And with that being said, hi, Ms. Webster. I know her from before. First and foremost, you might be wondering, who is this person up here talking to us like they know me? My name is Hugo K. I'm the College Access Program Manager for 10,000 Degrees. And I'm going to get into 10,000 Degrees in a little bit. And one of the exciting pieces that I hear tonight is collaboration. And it's this partnership that we have with people with the same goal and mission, to support our students to get to where they want to go. And a little bit about me, I also can talk like forever. Dave knows that part, so I'm going to keep it short. I am one of those students that they're talking about, who low income, had no idea where to go, had no direction. And in the school that I went to when I graduated in 2009, there was nobody talking to me this way. And I became part of the 10,000 Degrees program as a rising senior at Petaluma High School. And it was because of 10,000 Degrees as to where I am today. They helped me believe in myself. They helped me achieve my goals of graduating college, coming back to my community, and helping other students do the same. That is who we are. With me today, we have Ms. Stephanie Reyes, who is our Institute Program Fellow, recently graduated from UC Davis. And this is what we want to bring to the students. Recent graduates who share your story, who know who you are, can talk about the process and say, you can also do it. Earlier today with Kenilworth Junior High School, one of the students talked about a new program that started at Kenilworth and CASA, that transition piece. And Ms. Ramona Polk,
the amazing Ramona Polk.
the amazing Ramona Polk. We had to edit that, you know. She is leading that program at Kenilworth Junior High School, and what she likes to call the Still Life Rights program, having a caseload of those students, helping them transition successfully into Casa Grande and being at Casa Grande, connecting with them. How's the semester? How are you doing? Let's forget about classes for right now. How are you? And then let's get into why this is an amazing program, why we're here to support you. But a lot of people always say, like, what is 10,000 Degrees in general? So our mission, excuse me for reading, I just think this is very important for us to get out. The mission of 10,000 Degrees is to achieve educational equity and help students from low-income backgrounds get to and through college in order to positively impact their communities and the world. And when we say to and through, that means when we work with these students in high school as seniors and they go to SRJC, Sonoma State, or wherever they choose to go, we're going to stay with them, calling them, Facebook messaging them. How are you? How's the semester? Hey, we have a summer internship. Come back over the summer and work with us until they're crossing that front stage with a diploma in their hand. And that is what 10,000 Degrees is all about. So with that, our goal is we aim to dramatically increase the baccalaureate degree attainment rates for students from low-income backgrounds throughout California and create educational equity in the communities that we serve. And that community here is Petaluma. And I'm excited to see Rigo and Rosa here who's going to talk about what they do at SRGC because they're my students. And so here they are. And again, with what we do, 10,000 Degrees as a whole, we help students from low-income backgrounds get to and through number one piece, right? Over 80% of 10,000 Degrees students who enter a four-year college graduate. They graduate. 80% of our students graduate. That's so much more higher than the national average, right? Of 31%. And that to us is an amazing bullet point. 10,000 Degrees community college students transfer to and graduate from four-year college at almost 3 times the national average. A lot of this is part of this calibration that we have with SRGC, with the high schools, with community partners, and once our students are at SRGC, making sure they're connected to the right resources. You want to transfer? Let's go see your transferring counselor there. You want to do a trade? Fantastic. Let's talk to the people to help you get to where you want to go. That's what those numbers show right there, that partnership that we have together. And the other piece that's unique, there's no GPA requirement to our program whatsoever. We believe that every student who wants to go to college, they can. A GPA, a number, does not determine who they are as a person. And this is exactly what it's all about. I was not a 3.0 student, and if it wasn't for 10,000 to see in me that I can believe in myself, I wouldn't be here in front of you today. And to finish up, I got a bullet point of notes that I think is going to be amazing for you. We are also here at Petaluma High School, and between Casa Grande and Petaluma High School, between the years of 2017 and 2018, we have awarded scholarships to those students. 94 students are currently receiving up to $156,185 in free financial aid. That's scholarships from the community, scholarships from 10,000 Degrees, putting aside the free money from the state and Pell eligibility. So these are your students that are coming back to your communities and eventually sit next to you, teach other people, and talk to Val, talk to Eric and Sharon about the importance of what education can do. So thank you so much, and I'm gonna let Rigo and
Very quickly here, I do have something else to say, okay? We have a couple of testimonies, okay? All right, so you can just read that. But one of my very first assignments 3 years ago, on the very first day of my employment, October the 6th, was Jumpstart. I was taken by one of our counselors to Mr. Wicker's room and said, okay, I said, jump who? So anyway, I've been jumping ever since, and I just love the program. This is one of the testimonies from a student. Jumpstart for me was, she graduated last year. Jumpstart for me was an amazing program, especially for a first generation student. I got the help needed, all my questions answered. Thanks to the program, I learned how and what to do in order to sign up for my SRGC classes, and overall, I'm really glad I was a part of Jumpstart. So there's a couple of pictures of Julie, myself, the graduates, and all the work that we've been doing. So then we have some fun stuff in here as well. You know, our celebratory groups, we just did a big ELD workshop with our English language learners. This robe is for somebody that's 6'8". I mean, they do fight, they have a good time. So anyway, just to show you that we don't always, we do focus, but we also have fun in the College and Career Center. So with that, I'd like to introduce to you our alum, our ambassadors. Rosa, I'm not sure who wants to go first. She's a 2016 grad from Casa Grande. We have Rigo, or Rodrigo, who graduated this Rigo, who graduated in 18. Gotcha. Okay. So thank you very much.
Hi everybody, it's nice to be here tonight. Like Val, I can call her Val because I graduated today. Like she mentioned, my name is Rosa Collin, and I am one of those proud SRJC Bear Cubs. You can see it on my shirt. And I'm a proud 10KD student as well. And I'm just here to talk to you about like my experience basically at Casa Grande. I graduated in 2016 like she mentioned, and if it wasn't for Val and the College and Career Center, I wouldn't be where I am today. I was one of those low-income students, first generation, that didn't even know what college was. I just heard it was, you know, a place like, I'm going to Sac State, I'm going to Berkeley, and I thought, how can I go there? Like, can I go with you? Or I can just go to Berkeley and they'll accept me, but as we know, that's not the case. So if it wasn't for Val, I wouldn't be able to get that opportunity. I actually, I submitted an application to Sacramento State my senior year, and I was fortunate enough to be accepted into Sacramento State, and I was set, my mind was set. You know, I didn't think of JC as a backup plan. And Miss Val was always telling me, Rosa, you should think of the JC as a backup plan just in case something happens. And I told her, no, I'm going to Sac State. I'm going to Sac State. And she's like, so then she knew that, you know, a backup plan is always a smart choice, and I didn't think about it like that. It wasn't until the summer when I accepted my admission to Sac State. I got my apartment at Sac State. I went to my orientation, and I even purchased textbooks when I got my financial aid award letter. And unfortunately, they didn't give me the money I was hoping for, so I wasn't able to attend Sac State. And for me, I saw it at the moment. I was really upset because I thought that's my dream school. You know, I went to Sac State. I loved Sac State. I saw myself having a future there. And some of my friends were going as well, so we were going to share an apartment. I was set, but I didn't see it as a blessing in disguise at the moment. And I was super rushed during the summer, and when Val got my email, like, hey Val, I need help with the JC. And she's like, she typed, and I'm like, she's like, I told you, young lady, and I thought I should have listened to you at the beginning. So she helped me get through Jumpstart and everything, and I can proudly say if it wasn't for Val, Jumpstart, and the JC, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be on my last year of the JC. I'm applying right now to go to either UC Berkeley or UCLA to pursue my bachelor's in social work and come back to my community and serve just like everybody here. If it wasn't for all these people, I wouldn't be here where I am. I'm currently, you know, struggling with classes, 16 units. I'm in student government at the JC, which is something I never saw myself doing. And as you can see in those pictures, it's all about just helping students. So that's what we do. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rigo Garcia. I'm a first-year student at the Santa Rosa Junior College. Pretty much what I want to say today is I just want to give thanks, especially to 10,000 Degrees. To me, 10,000 Degrees was like the main base and the reason why I chose to go to college. During my sophomore years, when I first learned about the program, I heard it through an announcement in Spanish class. And then after hearing the announcement, I went into a meeting they had. It was like a sort of like a introduction of what the program was. And then after just hearing more in depth of what it was all about, I just realized like this sounds pretty cool. It's like before they even thought about going to college, I just pictured myself pretty much just working like all of my other family members did after high school, or if they even finished high school. So that was my thought process. But after applying to the program and getting into them and going to the summer intensive, 10,000 Degrees really helped my mind growth in a lot of ways. So 10,000 Degrees is really the base of why I'm doing everything I'm doing today. So a huge props to them, and I appreciate them very much. So stepping forward now, after finally, you know, being in that environment of college and all that, I was introduced to the Jumpstart program. And I was introduced to this when I used to hang out a lot in the College and Career Center. Like I said, like I started hanging out there like during my senior year. And like I said, like I was never really the type of person to go like be involved so much in that. But thanks to TKD again, like they're my base that like kind of like grounded me to be in that type of environment in college. And then when I would hang out a lot in the College Career Center, I got to know Valerie Alston. She's a wonderful person. She's really another huge support system I have. So I was really fortunate enough to have 10KD and Valerie Alston at the College and Career Center as a huge support system for me. Being a part of the Jumpstart program was really, really exciting and kind of, it was just overall exciting because I just, no one in my family has gone to college, so just learning about that process on how to fill out an application and just like being involved in new things, most of all, was pretty exciting to me. And then, so yeah, that's what I gotta say, so Valerie Austin, she was very important. We built a relationship in there, more like a friendship, you can say. Like, I would go out there just like not talk about college, we like literally just talk about anything going on in our lives. And then, so that kind of just felt the confidence for me and for her to ask me questions about everything. So she always reminded me about like deadlines, about applications, as well as taking D, because I would meet with them on every Wednesday of the week. overall, just these two programs are amazing. They're really the reason why I'm here today. And another huge thing I thought was it made me get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to tell a story about one time how when I walked into the College and Career Center, Miss Austin was on her computer, and then she was telling me about a job opportunity that they had at the Santa Rosa Junior College, and I was to be an outreach ambassador. She was telling me about it, and then I was kind of like iffy about it, like should I like, cause she told me, she's like, oh, you should like apply for the job or whatnot. She was saying that she can email my boss, Yesenia Confalo, and then she was just saying, oh, you should do this, and I just thought in my head, like, I wasn't really sure if I should or not, but I just felt like I needed to get out there, get out of my comfort zone to be a new person and just grow. So I took on that challenge to put myself out there, and then, yeah, I'm here today because I was an outreach ambassador. I'm still learning every day, as you can see now, like not as comfortable because it's all really new to me, just being up here in front and just being involved, but I really hope I continue to grow and just continue to develop as a person. And then again, I just want to thank 10KD and Valerie Austin at the College and Career Center, and definitely Mr. Backman and everyone else who started the Jumpstart program, because without them, I wouldn't be here today. Thank you.
Thank you all for the opportunity. It goes without saying, one of the great joys of my job is working with such incredible people. We build good teams at CASA. It's probably the thing we do best, and this is the best we've got. Yeah.
Wonderful. I have a couple of questions. I think the JC is a great resource, not only for graduating students, but for the whole community. And I went to JC and was happy to be able to go, and first in my family to go to college, and it really, all these testimonies are right. It's a great springboard. My question, does it still have a relationship with UC Davis and Berkeley, where if you take those classes, you get priority admission?
Yeah.
I just think that's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gift that the JC provides if you're willing to work at it.
Sure.
And then I was going to ask Ms. Alston, I'll call you Val because I've
Yeah, you can call me Val.
Yeah. Are you able to help some of these kids get like housing up by the JC? Because some of the opportunities of going away to a four-year college, quite frankly, is just learning how to live independently. You know, just the little things of, you know, buying your own food and your toothpaste and your toothbrush, just those things. So I know housing is a horrible, horrible issue throughout our society, but does the JC still provide housing, or did they get rid of that?
I think they used to have some, when I was going to school back in the day, okay?
They used to have
Yes,
dorms.
they used to have, the apartments that were on Elliott Drive were really designated for JC's,
Yeah.
but they don't really have these dormitories or apartments, but they do.
We actually had Kent Hall originally, and you guys remember that?
Yeah,
We
I
actually
remember
had dormitories on our Santa Rosa campus, and we do have an apartment complex right on campus that we do partner with, but we're actually working really hard right now trying to respond to the needs of housing for students in Sonoma County, and we're working with a special group and are looking to build maybe a partnership with a developer. We give the land, they build the complex, they manage for SRJC students, faculty, staff, all of the above. But it is something we're exploring because we do know, you know, especially since the fires, housing in Sonoma County is a challenge, especially for students on those incomes.
But a lot of the students, they live at home because part of the beauty of the JC is it's a solid education and they can transfer. And so they can have 2 years at home, not paying that huge costs of living in a dorm, which is, you know, $1,500 a month. So they're just paying, and they usually get the bond fee waiver, so their cost for their education is minimal, and they have the Doyle Scholarship. They may be able to attend college for free, basically, and live at home. So they get a rock-solid education, a solid springboard to transfer to a four-year college at no cost. So then they might be graduating with a bachelor's with a minimal amount of debt. So I think our students are economically smart, and they live at home, because look at Petaluma, we have a fabulous thing, right, you know, we can walk to it right now.
Right, great. That's commendable, all of it. Thank you for the
Great.
presentation.
It's quick. Do most students go to Petaluma campus, Santa Rosa? It just depends on your major or classes?
It depends on the major, it depends on the courses, it depends on the certificate. Some do both campuses. I think it's for convenience, the better one is the Petaluma campus.
Parking's better.
Parking's better there.
And you don't have to deal with the 101 traffic.
That's why I go to Petaluma campus.
And at some point, students do often find they eventually have to go to the Santa Rosa campus to get some of the higher level science courses. But we do have Measure H, and we are building and improving our Petaluma campus and are hoping to serve students, right here in our community without sending them up that 101 corridor.
I have one more question, sorry, for 10,000 Degrees. How do students get involved with your program? Do they apply? Anyone's
Good question.
eligible?
There is an application process, and it'll be for rising seniors, and that will be opening up sometime next couple of months. And so we'll be going to both high schools and doing rallies, getting pizza for them,
If you feed them, they will come.
Yeah.
There is a great website, 10,000 degrees spelled out.org. Really quick, I wanted to mention the Remind app. That's amazing. Like, great way to get through and help kids. That's great. And I want to thank you all very much. I too came from parents, didn't go to college, and started at the JC. And
can I give another famous statement?
Absolutely.
Another thing I want to say is that something very, very good about 10KD is that they do not only work with the applicants that are in the program, but they also work with anybody else. So they're always open to help anybody in the high schools. So anyone can literally show up on Wednesdays, whether or not you were in the program or not, and they'll help you out. Like I said, you're always part of them.
And then how does 10,000 Degrees stay in business?
It's all privately funded. So we do apply for grants and then benefactors that just believe in the work that we do.
And do you have fundraisers or anything?
Yes, so in coming April, we'll have a gala in Marin County. And
Make sure you shoot some.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know, because I haven't attended that one before, but that would be a good one to attend.
So I'll just add, we are funding a position at Kenilworth, so starting in the summer, they help come and work with the bridge students at summer school.
Great.
So we do have 10,000 degree support starting at Kenilworth, supporting those kids who are transitioning into high school. We transition, and sometimes that's difficult, so.
It's an incredible program. I mean, they were in Tamales and it was just amazing.
Well, if you can survive that, you can survive anything.
No idea.
That's 10,000 degrees right there.
Yeah.
And like, one of the things I wish we had more money to support is more counselors. And Cal, you as well. What you guys do, and I'm learning more and more as my children get older.
And your case.
How many students you have in a caseload, and how many things you do from supporting them emotionally to educationally. All of that in between. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing the amazing work that you all do. I mean, you're okay too. I like you too.
Yeah. Thanks for a little bit.
If I could just do a quick plug for Casa Grande. I mean, being at SRJC, I work here in Petaluma. I'm very fortunate, and I get to work with all South Sonoma County schools, which we're really lucky. But Casa Grande really sets the bar high for all the other schools in this area, and if I could mold what they do and their energy and their support for their students and really duplicate it throughout this entire county all the way up to Cloverdale, I would, because no school really pushes the edge like Casa Grande does.
Well, and I remember when you were the assistant principal, and Mike and I did a site visit, and you did, this is, and here is where we really need some help with counseling, and funding hasn't been there, and you've just figured out how to get it done. It's amazing. So thank you all very much. That was great. Thank you, everyone.
Good job.
All right.
Good luck.
8.3. Linda, PHS HOSA students invited to National Conference for HOSA, all expenses paid. What?
Yeah, well.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Look at this.
You went, how was it?
We're gonna find out right now.
Spain or DC? DC.
Ooh, all right. Take it away.
First of all, thank you, because I know that I wouldn't have been able to afford this trip if it wasn't fully funded. But basically, I will end this presentation. We went to Washington, D.C., we stayed in Virginia, and we went to the Capitol, we went sightseeing, we went on tours. We had conferences, and we learned about leadership skills, and not only about HOSA, but just about how to make it in the world, I guess. It sounds a little broad, but we just talked about how to have a conversation, like kind of just things that you thought you knew, but you You really don't.
What does HOSA stand for?
Health Occupation Student Association. So HOSA to me really just means opportunity. I started in Miss Judah's biology and community health class, and she was really trying to get me into HOSA. And I was hesitant, and then my junior year she asked me to come to the elections, and I was elected secretary of HOSA. And we went to DC, and I just saw like all this new culture, and I got involved in politics, I'm only 17, and I was already an active member of the government, and I know now that I really want to move to Washington, DC and pursue politics, even if it's just small. It just really opened my eyes, and to me the most important thing is that I make a change in the world. I don't really care so much about money or anything like that, and this Health Occupation Student Association showed me that you can make a change in the world through health occupations without being a nurse or a doctor or working a regular job in a hospital. So my purpose, like I said, is to really just make a change, and it was insane. Just going and being in my capital, and it just was breathtaking. And I had went one time before in 8th grade, but I didn't really know who FDR was or what it meant. And then I went back after taking U.S. history, and I just knew I didn't know everything, but I just had such a greater awareness for what I was seeing. And so the Washington Leadership Academy, aside from going on tours and sightseeing, we went in the hotel, in the conference room, we went and we learned, like I said, how to have normal conversations. Like we sat down with a partner I sat with someone from Florida, Tennessee, just from all over the country, and then we had a conversation, and you had to listen to them for 7 minutes. Like, you could not say a word back. You could only ask questions and hear the response. And it was like, when you're having a conversation with someone, you always put in your input, and you were able to learn so much more about this person by not saying it. And it showed me that silence is powerful. And it was just so much more than learning about health occupation. It was just like, it was amazing just to be surrounded by so many new people and see the opportunities that wait for me when I graduate. So this picture is from sophomore year. That is the president, Barbara. We were in her biology and community health, and this just kind of opened my eyes because we didn't just learn about health occupations. We did a whole unit on the homeless population in Petaluma, and we went on a tour of the Mary Isaac Center, and it was just crazy to see how one thing can impact so much of our lives. Like, I spend a lot of my time walking around Petaluma, and I just see the Petaluma River, and it's so gross, and health impacts it. So it really opened my eyes to see that through health occupation you could achieve so much more. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Wow. How many students are back there for the?
It was just me and the president.
But I mean overall, from throughout the United States?
Yeah, 400 people. It was crazy.
Barbara was supposed to be here tonight as well, but she went home early with a fever this afternoon, so unfortunately she couldn't be here as well. But yeah, there was something like 400 students from every state in the nation, including Puerto Rico.
And what grade? Is it totally random, or what grade do you normally get people?
So we just started a jump division, which is the junior high. So we have a handful of kids at PJHS that are joining us now, so that when they get to Petaluma High, they're already kind of dialed in. But we have freshmen through seniors at the high school, and like I said, a handful of the junior high students now.
So how many kids do you usually take?
Well, to that one, this was our first time attending the Washington Leadership Academy. There's a lot of different workshops and events. So there's a regional leadership conference coming up at the end of October, so we'll be taking a handful of folks to that one. There's a state leadership conference that's going to be going on in March this year, and that one's going to be this year. It's in Sacramento. It alternates between Anaheim and Sacramento, so this year will be in Sacramento. So we're hoping to partner up with CASA again, so we've done in the past where we'll share a bus up and take a crew, and that we can usually take quite a few more when we go up to Sacramento.
So how many did you take to DC this time?
Just the 2 this time to DC, but it was such an awesome experience for them that I want all my officers to go next year if we can figure out how to do it. And like, we all came home saying, okay, everybody needs to be an officer. Like, there's no limit on who can be like how many officers we have. So I'm like, all of you all just need to be officers so that I can take you on this, because it was so amazing.
How many students do you have in HOSA?
In HOSA, it varies year to year, but around 50.
Wow.
And I'm hoping to grow that a little bit. So with our health pathway that we've been developing, it's been getting a little bit bigger. And then now that we have our jump program, little fledgling flow program going there, we're hoping to grow it even more.
And do you do any fundraising specific to HOSA?
We do, yeah. I mean, not that, we don't have like an annual something that we do, but we have miscellaneous things happening, yes. There will be actually a little bit of a fundraiser going on at the Egg Bowl. It won't be necessarily for our chapter specifically, but we're working again with Casa Grande's HOSA chapter to do a little friendly competition to see who can fundraise the most for a charity. So they haven't decided which one. It'll either be NAMI, which is the National Association for Mental Illness, or the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. So NAMI is one that California HOSA has kind of partnered with, sort of long term. And then every 2 years, National HOSA has a new partner that they work with, and so the Pediatric Cancer Foundation is their new one that they just chose for the next 2 years. So it'll be one of those two.
And do you find that, because I used to take students to DC, and I found that the students that got the most out of it were juniors, because they're immersed in U.S. history, U.S. literature. Is that who went with you this year, juniors?
We had 2 seniors. I could see that. But the thing that was so awesome was like the last day that we were there was a Tuesday, and we actually went to the Capitol, and so all the students ran around and had appointments with various senators and representatives. Mainly it was we were with their aides and stuff, but they actually got time in the offices. So we were in the Hart Senate building. We were in the other Senate, the representatives. We went to the Capitol. We did not see Jared Huffman because he was here while we were there. But you want to tell them about the Senate Gallery?
Oh yeah, so we went to the Senate Gallery and we got to see the senators speak. And like you said, I'm in the United States government right now, so I didn't really, I understood what the Senate was and I understood the process of our laws and all that stuff, but I literally went and saw it. And so then I came back to school.
Isn't that amazing?
Right, and we're talking
And
about
Chuck
the Senate.
Schumer and Chuck Grassley were like having it out when we're sitting there. We're guys.
It was crazy. And then I come back to school and we're talking about Kavanaugh and we saw someone speak out on that incident and it just
it brings it to life.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's
Good.
great.
How did you get all your expenses paid?
So California HOSA has had a hard time getting people to go because it's so far and it's so expensive. So this year the California HOSA board actually chose to throw some money at it. So they, in June, they said, all right, the first 9 chapters that get us their paperwork by such and such a date will give you some grant money of this amount. And so I blasted it out to my people, and this is summer, mind you. And Misty and Barbara were the two who got their paperwork right back in, and so they were in, and so we went. But yeah, we'll definitely work on it. And it was really awesome too because Barbara really wanted to go last year, but we kind of found out about it late, and so we didn't get all of our stuff organized and have the funds for taking her then. So I promised her, I said, I'm definitely going to take you this year. And so we got to go, and we got to take Misty as well, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Misty, so what's your whole name again?
Misty Catherine Challey.
I'm sorry.
Misty Challey. Challey.
Just to keep track, so when you're up there.
Misty.
Yeah.
When you're up
Now
there,
I can send my tweet.
When you're up there just dominating in Washington, and just remember the old
So when she's running for office, you know who to vote for.
That's right.
Just remember the old adage that anybody who likes sausage or the law shouldn't watch them being made.
True.
Messy process, right?
Are
Good for you.
planning to move to DC right out of high school, or go to Georgetown or Maryland University
Yeah, I
or
don't
George
know.
Washington?
I kind of want to just take a leap year and travel, but I can do that later in life. I don't know, I just, even before I went, I just really had no idea what I want to do, and I still don't, but I really do want to move to the East Coast, and I never really thought to move to Washington, D.C., but
There's so many good colleges there too.
I love it.
We actually got to have dinner one night with one of our alumni who's at George Washington, so that was cool too, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people from this area that are back there that can help you, so good luck to you.
Yeah. Great disposition. Right. Do great.
I love hearing
Thank
that.
And again, Linda, so much passion passion for a program with your students, what would we do if we didn't have that? So thank you so much. I can just by the way you're talking, you're so excited, so thank you so much. That's what makes the difference. You know, we talked about this a long time ago, I think. I'm not even sure where or when, but one of the things, even being on the board and being up here, we have so many programs and so many things going on and so much fundraising. And if you're connected to a student there, then a lot of your money obviously is going to go to that school and the programs that your children are involved in. But you know, some people's kids are gone, but maybe they still want to donate places.
I do.
And so it'd be great to have like a district page, you know, where if you were just the everyday Joe that wanted, or Jane that wanted to go on and see what's going on, yes, he's pulling his checkbook out, what's going on in your local schools. If there was like one place you could go to and see fundraisers you could buy tickets for. I mean, I know a lot of us just go straight to PEF, but the grants they give are limited to certain things. You know, if you wanted to help out HOSA, you know, Petaluma High, or you wanted to help out the hatchery, or
10,000 degrees.
Or 10,000, like it'd be really neat to have one place you could go to and we could direct people to. And you can kind of, oh my gosh, my neighbor's kid goes to Valley Vista. What's this Viking voyage thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's probably a lot of work, but maybe if it was a work in progress, eventually it would kind of take a life where people could go and they could, you know, we have such an overwhelmingly generous community that, I mean, I would go through myself, and it was just every couple months I'm gonna pick 10 charities and donate $10. That's $10 more than they're getting from me now.
Well, there's no reason why we can't host a spot that people could, teachers or programs at schools could go on and place information. This is about our program. We're raising money for this. If you're interested, here's where you can go to donate.
Kind of like a GoFundMe page for the entire
Yeah, we would
district.
just post the information so that if
And
someone
they
wanted to
could
look.
fund.
Yeah, so let's look into that.
No
You know, I
credit-
think
no
that
credit card refused.
I think
Yeah, that's another thing.
to me, the takeaway, and somebody was asking me about, I was meeting with a local official on, they asked, what are some things that would be good to know about the school district? And I said, you know, there's so much pockets of excellence that are out there. And, you know, I hope that people are watching this tonight to see what kind of energy that is coming from staff and students. And these are game-changing types of, we heard two things tonight that are changing kids' lives.
Right.
And the credit for that goes to all those people that are putting the energy into that. And I remember when Eric, 4 years ago, one of the first meetings I came to, Eric and Scott did a presentation on Jumpstart.
I remember that.
And I sat in the audience during that, and to see how far it's come in that amount of time is credit to Eric and Scott and everybody that dug in and did doing the work day in, day out. So
And the
kudos to
enthusiasm
everybody.
and passion is
Yeah.
what really, I mean, that's what kids respond to.
You know, when you see the infectious, you know, nature from Linda and from staff, you know, the kids feed on that stuff.
It's great.
Well, and it's too, I mean, I think because it's campaign season, we're, you know, a few of us are highly aware of, you know, people, as much as we try, it's really hard to spotlight some of the amazing things that we're doing and to be on top of it all and share it all. You know, like I don't know if I would have thought to share with folks about these two things tonight, but how amazing was that to sit through those two presentations?
Yeah, that's great.
That was amazing. We're doing amazing things here. You know?
So, and I'll just add, you know, in the state over the last, I don't know, 8 to 10 years, the pendulum swung really hard to A through G, 4-year college for all.
Right.
And both of these, one was CTE, one was junior college, you know, so it's how are we preparing all kids for all the opportunities, right? I mean, not everyone is going to be A through G 4-year ready or wants to. So, you know, in that pendulum swing, we still had folks who realized there was a need for kids to be prepared for post-secondary options, whatever they were. I mean, that number was staggering alone, just
Well, and
1,300 kids.
you know, it's so interesting meeting people that will say to you, well, I'm not college educated like you are. Okay, but you're a mechanic in the city of Ferrari making $180,000 a
Which
year.
is a lot more than
we've
this
got
college
we've got to
educated
kind
teacher.
of, yeah, we've got to kind of change. We've got to work on our society a little bit, and it starts with people and kids like this. And that my parents, for me, they didn't talk about options or careers. It was just go to college, just go to college, and that was going to be the panacea, right? If you went to college, you were going to be successful. And so I'm glad that we're pushing, college and or career ready, because there's so many things and so many ways to get to where you need to be. But if we don't open the door of opportunities for people and for kids, they won't see that. So I love that the first folks that they were working so hard to get people to see that. I mean, junior college produced 2 attorneys right here. One hopefully will be successful someday, and one is very successful. Started at junior college with parents that didn't go to college. So.
One of the things I think we're going to see in a future trend is these bigger companies like Google, Yahoo, Microsoft reaching out and grabbing kids right out of high school. And they're already making inroads that way and bringing them in. And if a student is really focused and wants to do so, it's another avenue to that career college ready. There's another component that's going to be coming in that these kids are going to be able to take advantage of. And think about it, they're paying you $50,000 a year, let's say, for 4 years to get you up to snuff, instead of you paying $50,000 a year to get up to snuff.
Well, and it's also, there's programs like the IB program at Valley Vista, or that program at Kenilworth, that is giving the kids those qualities that businesses want. Okay, we'll take you out of high school, but you're already, responsible and self-starter. And so it definitely starts at the elementary level, where you give those kids the qualities that are gonna make them successful, no matter what they choose to do.
They're gonna have lots of options, which is all we can really ask.
I'd hire Misty tomorrow.
Right. No,
Right?
Yeah.
That's the idea. You want impressive candidates, and we've seen it. I've seen it in the graduates when you shake their hands. I've seen a real attitude shift as far as these kids are getting it. I mean, they look in the eye, shake your hand. Just their presentation. Just in my short time on the board here, I've seen a real stepping up of their game too, and that comes from everybody kind of helping them along that path of how to present and get ready, because they're launching.
So at a future board meeting, I think it's the next board meeting, I'll bring a presentation on our latest state test results.
Good.
In December, we'll come back with the full dashboard, which has all the metrics. And one of the things that's great is the state is now valuing the college career indicator in a much more broad way. So it's not just
A through G.
It also is participation CTE, participation and dual enrollment at the college. So it puts more of a value on all of these different ways that people can be ready for post-secondary, not just one. Even though, we still want to try to improve those as best we can, but also provide for all kids. So I did want to add, I sent down the lane to Phoebe because I knew she was going to ask. So Petaluma High has 70 kids, about 70 each year, that are in the Jump Start. But it all started with CASA. There's 5 high schools in the county that partner with SRJC. So
nice.
So does Petaluma High, they don't have as rich a program, or they're working on it, they're building it?
Right. I mean, if you look, they're kind of like where CASA was
a couple years
2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't
And
have
is 10,000 degrees there as well?
No.
She's kind of the bomb,
Is it?
right?
Yes. Do we ever?
Is there? Is it Hugo that's there?
Different.
Okay.
But you said they were there early tamales. You've already had exposure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've had 10,000 degrees out there for a long time, and I was a mentor for a couple kids.
Yeah.
It's an amazing program.
Well, and I think a nice shout out to Santa Rosa Junior College, which
Yes.
is an incredible institution that we're very fortunate to have in our town. And just reading in the newspaper, or Chronicle earlier this week about the CSU system, where kids are graduating, it's taking them 6 years, you're paying your tuition, and a lot of freshmen, I didn't even realize, are taking math that's meaningless. It's remedial math, you're not even getting your college credit, and in the English courses, so it's fascinating. So you're paying your full tuition as a freshman, but it's taking you 6 years. The graduation rate after 4 years is like 19% out of the CSU.
Yeah.
The average is 6 years. So if you go to Santa Rosa Junior College, for almost, free, if you get a Doyle scholarship or any, for 2 years. And then, so
I could go back to college, I'd stay there for 8 years.
It took me 6 years.
None of us having to
But that
pay
was-
myself, though.
Do you know, like, that was fascinating to me, that at the
Yeah.
CSU's, the
Set the
math,
damn
a lot of
law.
people have is
Instead of 17.
meaningless.
Yeah, I was
You know,
paying my
because
own.
they-
But the chief
they
must
call it radio.
Okay.
Can I just throw something else
Yes,
out
you can.
that I thought was really interesting?
We just all with like 10 side conversations.
The state of Maine said that if their graduates, okay, students that, you know, graduated from high school in Maine, went to college somewhere else, if they came back to the state of Maine to work there, they would pay their college debt.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing that they, you know, the state, well, I mean,
So we need to move to Maine.
right?
Oregon does that too. If you, certain jobs, they'll
They'll
make
forgive
deals,
your
yeah,
debt.
they'll make deals with you on your student
Yeah.
loans, absolutely.
That is incredible.
Cool stuff.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay, item 9, comments from the public, see none. Item 10, report on activities and correspondence of school board members. Click on it, so I've got a list. Let's see, we had site visits at San Antonio, Crossroads, Live Oak, Costa, Valley Vista, and Kenilworth. And Phoebe and I attended Lynn Woolsey's Women in Politics Forum last night, which was quite fun. Mike was a no-show, but that's all right.
No boys were allowed.
That's not true, they were in the audience. All right, item 11, approval of consent agenda by consolidated motion. 11.1, administration human resources. 11.1. Sorry, I just started
Yes.
going right through like it's the action items.
So moved.
Thank
Second.
you. All in favor?
Aye.
That's funny. Here we go. 12. Action items. 12.1, administration human resources. 12.1.1, resolution 1819-11, resolution of the Board of Education of the Petaluma City Elementary and Petaluma Joint Union High School Districts of the County of Sonoma, State of California, 2018 Red Ribbon Week.
So move.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Self-explanatory. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It was funny last night as they went through 5 people that were running for school board. I think everybody listed the title of trustee slightly different. Like,
Yeah.
it just reminded me because it's so long. 12.2 business services. 12.2.1 purchase orders.
So moved.
Second.
Any issues with the purchase orders? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 12.2.2, ratification of warrant register for warrants issued September 1st, 2018, September 30th, 2018 by Petaluma City Schools.
So moved.
Second.
I have to recuse myself.
All right,
Ditto.
Phoebe's out.
Ditto.
2, you're out?
Mm-hmm.
You're not out. You're just nodding for him.
No, I was just done it for Mike.
You were
just
just
to make sure he's
supporting Mike
awake.
through.
Make sure he's awake.
Okay, so the 2 of them are out. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 13, discussion information only items. 13.1, administration human resources. 13.11, Williams Settlement Quarterly Uniform Complaint Report from July 1st, September 30th, 2018. Any comments or questions? 13.1.2, amended board policy, first reading for board policy 1312.3, uniform complaint procedures.
Just for clarification, these are updates that we received from CSBA, and they make whatever adjustments that we go ahead.
Yeah, we don't, all of the readings for the first reading of the board policy are changes that they have made to the policy. We haven't made any adjustments to that. So they're standard
All right. 13.
changes.
Okay, that's it.
13.1.3, amended board policy, first reading for board policy 4119.11, 4219.11, 4319.11, sexual harassment.
So on this particular item, I had a couple of questions regarding some of the strike-throughs. One was related to why was disciplinary action struck through, and it appears, looking at it, it's because they added disciplinary action above under, let's see if I can find it, maybe Dave knows where that is. Give me a second to dig through it.
Start at the very beginning.
Yeah, it's any district employee, it's like the
Yeah.
fourth
It's in the first
paragraph.
part.
Fourth
Yes.
paragraph down. And then it follows with what the,
But we'll double check with CSBA to make sure that it's because it's a redundancy. If it's not, I'll let you know.
okay.
But when they do that, they try to clean up the language.
I also think that we need to include the titles of the district coordinators. So Dave does it for students, Matthew does it for teachers and employees, but they won't always be doing it, so maybe it needs to be, head of student services, so that it's just in there, it's very clear to whoever reads it, that they know who they should go talk to if they need to.
I think we had some discussion about, because it's interesting when you hear questions, from someone that's new to the board or from someone that's asking you from outside, how to negotiate through the board policies and the ARs and what exactly that means and how they work together and if they work together. And Matthew, we were talking a little bit about when these come through, particularly on, not that all of our VPs and ARs aren't important, but sexual harassment is a big one. I know Ellen had a ton of questions. Phoebe had some comments I think she had with Gary. I think maybe we should look at beefing up a little bit what the board gets in the rationale and situation section when we prep something.
Sure.
Particularly if you see something like the retaliation paragraph that's completely struck through. Maybe we need a little more here on why that was, or to flip over and look, like you did mention the AR 4030. Maybe just beef it, since we know your background.
Sure.
And you have lawyering skills as well as educating principally and now human resource skills. So I think they talked to Gary with some of the issues that they had. Maybe he could talk to you about it more. But sometimes they come through, and if it's something, it's like kind of a hot topic or something we feel really important, we make sure that the board members really understand and that the public can access it probably easier.
Well, and you're going to start to see a lot of board policies coming through, and what's going to happen also is, if you saw, there was just massive influx from the governor at the last minute of new education laws, what you received in your board packet. All of that is going to lead to changes in subtle changes in our board policies. So what'll happen is the next quarter CSBA will be sending those revisions out. So those will kind of get piecemealed and sent.
And that wouldn't even be bad on that, like we talked about on that district webpage, where it says board policies and administrative regulations, beefing that up to what that means, what are board policies, what are the ARs, do they interact, why?
Just make it more user-friendly.
And then, and maybe even mentioning even mentioning that, like, we get our updates from CSBA that vets them legally when there are changes in the law, so people know that we have a function of government that's helping us negotiate when there are changes in laws, and that's why we update things.
Or dictating to us.
Or dictating to us, so we
And maybe just
stay legal.
What Gary, what does CSBA stand for? What's the relationship,
It's always that balance, right? It's too much information that you overload people, but that you can help the layperson, because you do kind of get used to, education speak or acronyms or whatever, and then it isn't sometimes until somebody on the outside looks in that and doesn't understand that you realize.
And especially something like sexual harassment, which is just such a huge, major issue. It should be user-friendly. People should be able to go to the website and understand what our policies are. Most dictated legally by the state, but, it's not always.
Yeah, no, good point.
Yeah, I don't think that unless you're in education, you realize that the administrative regulations will look different from district to district. But you can go on our board policies and you could throw them up against somebody in Riverside, and they're going to see almost identically the same thing, because we're both just using CSBA. But it is an issue as far as transparency. I think giving a little bit of information about what the difference is between an AR and a BP, who's CSBA, we can add all that stuff to the website.
I think,
do that.
I think sometimes, I'll talk it to death. Cool. Good. And thank you for both of you. I know you talked to Gary. 3.2, business services. 3.2.1, new board policy, first reading for board policy 3230, federal grant funds. Would you want to talk about that?
Yeah, just that to it. This is, I believe, a new policy that we're adding.
Oh.
We needed to add it.
Hold on one second, I skipped, I see
Sure.
my
Go
cursor, I
ahead.
skipped the one before that. Did anybody have any questions on the first reading of the pre-retirement part-time employment?
No.
My apologies for skipping over
Sure.
that. Okay, back to you, Gary.
Yeah, just so we needed to add we needed to add a policy on this, and it's right out of the CSBA template, and it's just good practice to have one about that grant funds get audited, and that we're mandated to follow certain procurement procedures. It's just that we've never had one, and we were looking at doing some postings on some potential federal grants, and we want to make sure, and I'm not sure why there's never been one, but we're adding.
Okay.
Good.
13.3, educational services. 13.3.1, first reading of Petaluma Joint Union High School District course CTE, anatomy and physiology. Any questions or comments on that one?
They look really good.
So Phoebe noticed, I don't know if no one else noticed,
Nobody.
Phoebe noticed the date on the top of the form says 2016,
Years ago.
17, because it was submitted 3 years ago. And
And it's just now getting
We're
approved?
just now with.
somewhere in the process, it never made it here. So last year, as we were looking at our CTE pathways, so this is the capstone course for Linda's pathway. So this is, so in the public and community health career pathway, this is the third one. So there's bio, community health, chemistry, community health, and the CTE, physiology, anatomy. So when we were looking at her course in the system, I was trying to figure out how does she distinguish which kids are the CTE ones and which ones aren't, because the course just says physiology and anatomy. So she said, oh, I submitted a course a couple years ago, and I said, you don't have it, it's not in the system. So somewhere a couple years ago, so she resubmitted, that's what that is. So that already went to Petaluma High, Principals Advisory Council and everything, so all the old dates on it.
And they've been offering it.
Well,
Sounds
not officially, but,
It sounds like a great class.
so now we're making it official, they'll have the full pathway, the full capstone, the real course. So,
Good.
that's
Fabulous. All right.
Good stuff.
13.3.2, first reading of Petaluma Joint Union High School District's courses for Petaluma High Honors Principles of Engineering.
Alright, so this course already exists as a non-honors course, and now the UCOA also recognizes, if you teach certain elements, that it can be also counted as a weighted honors course. So this is the weighted version, so students can take both of these courses, one first, obviously honors one second, and get weighted credit. So this is, so the students take the
Can
honors
students
version.
take the honors course but not have it be an honors? I mean, can they take it as just a regular course? And is there added work to get the honors, or is it just an honors course, period?
So two different courses.
Okay.
So there's Principles of Engineering, POE, which is not weighted, not honors, regular course.
Is that a CTE,
Um,
the non-honors one?
it should be a CTE, but the teacher teaching it does not have a CTE credential.
Okay.
So that's one of the things we're trying to coax
Alright.
this person into, while we still have federal grant funds to help that
That'd be
person do that.
great.
Are they thinking about it?
Yes.
What does that entail to get the credential?
It usually entails some industry experience and cataloging that, and or some work with SCO, so, see, but, so we're working on that. So the honors piece, yes, so it's a template course from Project Lead the Way, PLTW, it's a CTE, connected organization. And there are elements that if they teach them, if they include them, those are the honors pieces, and that's what's weighted. So this is a distinguishing
Purely honors.
factor from the other one.
And
So
it's
the kids who
purely
do
honors.
these added elements get the honors weighted.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
Kind of, so if they want to take both classes and they don't want to do the honors work, can they still take that class,
They can take the first one.
but not the second one? So the second one is pure
The
honors?
second one is embedded.
It's embedded, okay, so it's not an option, because I know sometimes, you know, you can add an honors piece to a regular class if you don't have enough students.
No, two separate courses, so.
Small school mentality.
And are they multiple classes? I mean,
I think, I think there's 3 total sections.
section.
Oh, well, that's good, yeah.
Jason, please. You just missed it.
All right.
Oh, Michael. All right, future business,
Good
Gary,
courses.
item 14.
bring back overview on district goals.
I think we feel like I should stall this meeting.
And can we continue the sexual harassment discussion?
Yeah, that's coming back.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
We're gonna sign papers now, and we're gonna adjourn this meeting.
Wait, didn't you have one to